private goodbye. Salah ban, shock. Owners in final day drama. Salah green light, surprise exit. New Klopp found. Leadership crisis. Salah gym message. No heavy metal football claim. Salah predicted Arsenal title? Welcome back to LFC Echo Daily, your home of the latest Liverpool news, drama and updates. This is a story you don't want to miss. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow for daily Liverpool updates and drop your comments below. Mo Salah says private goodbye to Anfield and Bowen interest. Latest LFC news. Mo Salah said a private goodbye to Anfield with his family ahead of his last match as a Liverpool player, while reports of his longtime teammate Alisson heading for Juventus continued. Mo Salah spotted saying private goodbye to Anfield just days out from bidding farewell to a full-capacity Anfield. Salah had a private moment with his family at the ground to reflect on a legendary career with the club.
In images posted on his social media account, he was pictured with frames showing iconic Anfield moments, including his celebration when the title was secured last year. It is likely to be part of a bigger project with the club or Sky Sports ahead of Sunday, which will only ramp up the emotion leading up to the final goodbye. It is hard to believe we have already reached this moment. Let's just hope his other social media post does not limit his game time. In another news, Liverpool owners told to ban Mohamed Salah from final day send-off as behaviour addressed. Mohamed Salah has found himself in hot water at Liverpool. Former Everton and Newcastle coach Sam Allardyce has said he'd ban Mohamed Salah from his Liverpool farewell if he was in charge. Salah, 33, is set to bring the curtain down on his 9-year spell at Anfield when the Reds host Brentford on Sunday. The two-time Premier League champion has found himself out of favour under Arne Slot after seeing his numbers drop off this season. And after suggesting he had been made a scapegoat by certain club figures in December, Salah waged another public tirade in light of Friday's 4-2 defeat to Aston Villa. The veteran winger took to social media and mourned the heavy metal football once produced under Jurgen Klopp in what was an obvious slight on Slot's tactics. Those comments have been received extremely poorly, however, as Allardyce joined the chorus of criticism calling out his decision to publicly air his feelings before the end of the season. If Mohamed Salah is going to say those kinds of things, then say it when you've left, he said on Boyle Sports and Footy Accumulators podcast, No Tippy-Tappy Football. Don't say it when you're still there as if you're bigger than the football club. If I were the Liverpool owners, I would ban him. I'd be thinking, who do you think you are? You're not bigger than this football club. Bournemouth's draw against Manchester City on Tuesday means Liverpool are effectively guaranteed to qualify for the Champions League next term. The only way they can be ousted from the Premier League's top 5 is if they lose at home to Brentford by a wide margin on Sunday, while Bournemouth also win at Nottingham Forest. Allardyce, 71, referred back to Salah's tirade aimed at his own club towards the end of 2025 after he was benched for a 3-3 draw against Leeds. And just like then, he has drawn scrutiny for not taking enough personal accountability amid a downturn in form. It's brought the spat he had at the start of the season back to the fray, and he's still been C***P ever since that as well. Allardyce continued, considering the player he was and what he used to be, he just hasn't done that this season. Salah should be looking at himself and how bad he's been this year.
Players and managers can row in the office, but they should never make it public. If Salah did that in the days, he'd never play again. He'd be finished. Jamie Carragher, Wayne Rooney and John Arne Riise are just some of the names to echo similar thoughts in recent days. Given Liverpool's place in next season's Champions League still isn't secured just yet, and given his latest barb, it would be a surprise if he starts against the Bees on Sunday. It's a pity how the Anfield icon's tenure has drawn to a close, given all he's helped the club achieve over almost a decade. The two-time Premier League Player of the Season will leave as a legend regardless, but there's an inescapable sense his reputation has been tarnished by his public outbursts in recent months. In another news, Mohamed Salah reaches decision on surprise next move as departing Liverpool star gives green light.
According to reports, departing Liverpool star Mohamed Salah has given a green light for a surprise move to a European giant this summer. Salah has been childishly kicking up a fuss on his way out of Liverpool, with his recent conduct underlining that the club is making the right call to let him leave this summer. The veteran forward certainly earned his lucrative 2-year deal after being the best player in the Premier League last season, but his form and influence have dramatically declined in an embarrassing 2025-26 campaign. Salah has not responded well to head coach Arne Slot's right decision to ease him out of the picture, and the forward has twice undermined the Liverpool boss's authority this season with unnecessary outbursts. Therefore, Salah leaving Liverpool on a free transfer this summer is the best course for all parties, and it was initially assumed that he would secure a long-awaited move to the Saudi Pro League ahead of next season. However, we have reported that there are also left-field options on the table for Salah, and the Daily Briefing for Caught Offside are now reporting that he has given the green light to a surprise transfer to Fenerbahce. The report claims Salah is really keen to continue playing at the highest level, and while Fenerbahce cannot match the financial offer proposed by the Saudi Pro League clubs, he is indicating he'd be prepared to accept a salary in the region of Euro 12-13 M a year in order to keep on playing in Europe after an informal offer. Liverpool hit transfer obstacle and should Slot ban Salah this weekend. As for Liverpool, they have been working on signing a replacement for Salah, and it has been widely reported for months that RB Leipzig breakout star Yan Diomande is their preferred option. However, a new report has claimed that two problems could force this move to collapse, while Liverpool are primed to turn attention to a far cheaper alternative. For now, though, all the attention remains on Salah, especially after he hit out at Slot's style of play following the 4-2 loss to Aston Villa last Friday. In response to these comments, ex-Premier League manager Sam Allardyce has urged Slot to ban Salah for Liverpool's final game of the season this weekend and deny him his farewell. Speaking on the No Tippy Tappy Football podcast, Allardyce said, "If Mohamed Salah is going to say those kinds of things, then say it when you've left," he said. "Don't say it when you're still there, as if you're bigger than the football club. If I were the Liverpool owners, I would ban him. I'd be thinking, who do you think you are? You're not bigger than this football club." It's brought the spat he had at the start of the season back to the fray, and he's still been crap ever since that as well. Considering the player he was and what he used to be, he just hasn't done that this season. Salah should be looking at himself and how bad he's been this year. Players and managers can row in the office, but they should never make it public. If Salah did that in the Fergie days, he'd never play again. He'd be finished. In another news, Liverpool find new Klopp from 4 targets as Arne Slot clashes with treasured star. Liverpool have been told Andoni Iraola could emulate Jurgen Klopp if he replaces Arne Slot at Anfield this summer, while the under-fire Reds boss has reportedly had a disagreement with one of his midfielders. Liverpool Chiefs are currently planning to stick with Slot over the summer, but they are under growing pressure to complete a U-turn. Slot has lost the fans with his dreary and blunt style of play, with several stars seemingly not playing for him. Mohamed Salah turned up the heat on Slot after Liverpool's 4-2 defeat at Aston Villa on Friday, claiming the heavy metal style that Klopp brought to Anfield should be non-negotiable for those who join. Salah also questioned how Liverpool crumbled to yet another defeat. Supporters are angry after Fenway Sports Group FSG let Xabi Alonso become Chelsea's new manager instead. In a new interview, former Liverpool striker Emile Heskey stated that departing Bournemouth boss Iraola would bring an entertaining style back to Anfield. Andoni Iraola has shown he has the capabilities, Heskey said via Liverpool.com. He's shown that he's a very, very intelligent coach. He's played a back 3, he's played a back 4. He knows how to change it up. One thing I will say, Bournemouth is not Liverpool, and we've seen this so many times. Liverpool is just a little bit different to some other clubs where you're given plenty of time.
So for me, yes, Iraola would be a great option because of the style of playing. And at the end of the day, we just want entertaining football as Liverpool fans. That's what we got with Jurgen Klopp. That's what we got in the first season under Arne Slot. But it just kind of tailed off to become a bit more possession-based. But we want that entertainment. We want our teams to be gung-ho. That's Iraola. We revealed on Monday that Iraola, Julian Nagelsmann, Matthias Jössel and Sebastian Hoeneß are all under consideration as Liverpool debate whether to axe Slot. We understand Liverpool are very concerned by the downward spiral under Slot and that Salah's comments hit home in a massive way. Arne Slot, Curtis Jones fallout. According to Italian newspaper Tuttosport, Slot remaining in charge of Liverpool could see beloved homegrown star Curtis Jones move on. Jones has fallen out with Slot and is refusing to sign a new contract as he pushes to join Inter Milan.
With the midfielder's current terms expiring in June 2027, Liverpool may be forced into selling him this summer while they can still get good money. Slot and Jones have likely clashed after the player responded to Salah's social media post with a clapping emoji. While several Liverpool stars liked the post, Jones went a step further by actually commenting. The 25-year-old has already said yes to joining Inter after they first made contact in January. The report claims Inter are now waiting for Liverpool to set a price tag. Jones is open to leaving his boyhood club as he is aiming to pick up guaranteed starts in central midfield, his favourite position. Meanwhile, we can reveal the competition Liverpool face to appoint Iraola as their new head coach. In another news, Liverpool's imminent leadership problem is bigger than you would expect. Liverpool have an imminent leadership problem at the club that could be further exacerbated by a mass exodus this summer. In front of 1,000 Liverpool supporters who were gathered to reminisce over the 1985-86 double-winning season, legendary midfielder Steve McMahon went out of his way to pass comment on the weekend's acquiescent draw against Chelsea. Amid tales of better times, the legendary Liverpudlian was forceful in his criticism of the lack of leadership and emotion among Arne Slot's squad. It was a sentiment cheered by the crowd who were fervent in their agreement. There simply isn't enough character in the team. The lack of character is an easy thing to pin on failing teams. Man United and Arsenal had those accusations aimed at them for years, sometimes correctly and other times not. There are leaders who shout and scream, and there are talismen who approach the role in a laissez-faire manner, expecting others to follow their example. Liverpool seemed to have neither at the moment. As the minutes whittled away against Chelsea, supporters became irate with the bench and the players at Anfield. There was no urgency being shown by those in red. With the odd exception, there was no one taking the game by the proverbial scruff of the neck. Dominic Szoboszlai worked hard, Curtis Jones was brave on the ball, and Alexis Mac Allister put a couple of tackles in, but these all felt like individuals trying to salvage some pride. Leadership isn't beckoning to the cop to be louder, it's instigating that relationship with fans through the attitude you show during the game. Captain Virgil van Dijk looked lost. While he may still command the aura of a statesman off the pitch, he is making uncharacteristic errors on the field. Some of the blame, perhaps quite a lot of it, can be placed at Arne Slot's doorstep, given his tactics are delivering nothing but apathetic football of late. Teams often mirror the manager, and Slot's reflection is currently casting a docile shadow over Liverpool. However, solely criticising the head coach would serve to let the players off the hook. Leading by example at the training ground, Liverpool's great sides of the past have been littered with quality players, but so have a lot of teams. Quality alone doesn't bring success. Under Klopp, senior figures in the dressing room set standards that meant new signings either sank or swam, a line repeated almost word for word by the 1986 double-winning players. Mo Salah recently highlighted this hard-working culture as one of his main concerns for Liverpool going forwards, in what seemed like a pointed nod to the current squad. I spoke to a member of staff, and the guys up there, the 33-year-old, told Sky Sports, I told them, when I leave, you need an example, you need people to come early and go to the gym. If this doesn't happen, it will be tricky for the club, because it's very necessary you put the standard high. People have to come early, people have to go to the gym and look after themselves, and I don't want that to change after I leave. I want that standard in the club. It's very important for the team to keep winning things, and this is one of the main concerns for me. In such a competitive footballing environment, marginal gains are essential, and if Liverpool don't make them, they will fall behind. Andy Robertson and Mo Salah are off, and more could follow, while the skipper Van Dijk may staying put for another year. Liverpool are losing two senior figures in Andy Robertson and Salah, or three if Alisson departs too. Both are captains of their countries and both know what it takes to triumph at the very top level. Whether they can still do it themselves is another matter, but there is a risk that the winning culture leaves Liverpool with them. It seems a bizarre suggestion to make just 1 year after Liverpool comfortably won the Premier League, but the makeup of Slot's squad has changed dramatically. If Alisson, Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones, Wataru Endo and Federico Chiesa were to leave this summer, there would be just 8 players remaining who won the league a massive turnover in the space of just over a year. Add McAllister and Ibrahima Konate to that list, you've got a mass exodus. Salah may have warned Slot of the problem potentially facing his squad, but the coach isn't unaware of the standards instilled by former players. It was only in January that the Dutchman said, "If I'm in the building and I'm talking about that period of time, I hear 2 other names constantly, and that's James Milner and Jordan Henderson." That's also things you're looking at, that you have the right mentality, people who know what the culture is. Persistent comments from players like Salah, Jones and Van Dijk have added to the notion of a culture ebbing away. Knowing this makes it all the more bizarre why Robertson, one of the standard bearers across the last 9 years, hasn't been accommodated more often in an attempt to keep the left back. In Slot's defence, the 32-year-old had to leave at some point and does so in search of more regular football. It couldn't last forever at Liverpool. The same goes for Salah. Nonetheless, the way in which the transition from Robertson to Milos Kerkez has been handled is a mark against the coach. Guidance for the next generation football teams evolve, and nothing stays the same. To use another 1985-86 example, legendary fullbacks Phil Neal and Alan Kennedy were ruthlessly replaced by Kenny Dalglish with Steve Nicol and Jim Beglin. On that occasion, though, there was a coach with incredible standing in place, as well as others still present who had been there and won the biggest trophies. When signings arrived, they were immediately indoctrinated into the Liverpool way. Klopp's squad reignited that culture, a culture that creates leaders. Without a strong figure at the helm to guide and recruit the right characters, this important intangible side of football gets shifted to the wayside. That isn't to say Liverpool's new signings are a lost cause. Most are young and talented. None are bad apples as such. However, without strong leadership from senior figures, whether that be from players or staff, they will remain the toothless Premier League footballers we have seen this season. In another news, Mo Salah sends another message from the gym fit for final Liverpool game. Mo Salah appears to have locked himself in the gym ahead of his final game for Liverpool, in what will no doubt be seen as another message on standards. Salah will close out his Anfield career on Sunday, and the Egyptian looks to be fully fit after recovering from a hamstring injury. Having come off the bench for the final 16 minutes of last week's 4-2 loss to Aston Villa, he could come into starting contention against Brentford. It comes under a cloud following Salah's veiled criticism of dropping standards and the style of football seen under Arne Slot in the Dutchman's second campaign in charge. In a post on social media on Saturday, the 33-year-old wrote, "I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear. Everyone that joins this club should adapt to it." Salah has continued to share updates on his Instagram story this week, including a time-lapse of a session in his home gym on Sunday. The forward then posted the view from his aquabike as he continued his preparations for the weekend, and on Tuesday Salah shared another photo from the gym, with the work hardly stopping for one of Liverpool's greatest ever players. Given the discourse in the media following Salah's statement on Saturday, it is hard to interpret his subsequent posts as anything other than reinforcing his message over the standards at the club. That statement was liked by a number of his Liverpool teammates in what has been viewed as a sign Slot has lost the dressing room. Which Liverpool players liked Salah's heavy metal football post? Curtis Jones replied with a clapping emoji, while Florian Wirtz, Ibrahima Konate, Jeremy Frimpong, Harvey Elliott, Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai, Andy Robertson, Milos Kerkez, Hugo Ekitike, Cody Gakpo and Wataru Endo all reacted with likes. A number of Salah's former players also appeared to back Salah's message, including Jarrell Quansah and Tyler Morton, who both declared they had rediscovered their love for football since leaving Liverpool last summer. Luis Diaz, Kostas Tsimikas and Nat Phillips are others from last season's squad to like Saturday's post. It remains to be seen if Salah will start against Brentford on Sunday, though Jamie Carragher urged Slot not to cut off his nose to spite his face by leaving the number 11 out over any personal issue. If playing Mo Salah at the weekend gives Liverpool the best chance of winning the game, you have to pick him, he told Sky Sports. "I've criticised Mo Salah about being selfish. Arne Slot can't be selfish. He has to think of the club, what's best for the club. If Liverpool need a result against Brentford, he has to play him if he thinks he's in his best team. In another news, Curtis Jones's response to Mo Salah questioned, "He's why we don't play heavy metal football." Curtis Jones's choice of response to Mo Salah's message about Liverpool's style of play had Jamie Carragher declaring he is partly why we don't play heavy metal football. The fallout from Salah's latest comments continues, with those who reacted or responded to the Egyptian's post now attracting attention, including Jones. The midfielder replied with a clapping emoji below Salah's message, which included a line about wanting to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear. It was brought up on the latest episode of The Overlap, which saw Carragher appear over video call, and while he did not have an issue with players liking the post, Jones' response was an exception. I think Curtis Jones commented on it, didn't he? Put like a clapping emoji, Carragher said. I thought that was a bit strange. He then quipped, "I thought, Jesus, this is why we don't play heavy metal football, because of players a little bit like Curtis Jones in the squad. He takes 6 touches on the ball before he passes it. I thought, steady on, son, stay out of that one. Let Salah do whatever he wants to do. He's leaving in a week."
I'm not too bothered really about players liking the post, and maybe they all look up to Mo Salah. You can imagine that. He's a big figure in the dressing room, a world-class player. I think it was daft for them to do, but I'm not overly fussed by that, to be honest. Jones is in the top 3rd percentile for touches per 90 minutes in the Premier League this season, and Carragher's critique is one that has been aimed at the 25-year-old before, but is brutal nonetheless. Mo Salah's post. I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers, and from believers to champions. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful, and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear, and back to being a team that wins trophies.
That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Hugo Ekitike was another who commented on Salah's post, while Ibrahima Konate, Harvey Elliott, Andy Robertson, Florian Wirtz, Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai were among those to like it. As for Salah's intentions in the first place, Carragher added, "I said it earlier in the season, he's trying to get the manager sacked. Now, whether people agreed with me or not, I've been proven right by him coming out and doing it again. This idea he's doing it for Liverpool FC, he's not, he's just Salah FC who plays for Liverpool." Both Carragher and Salah clearly care for Liverpool and its future, but they each go about it in different ways, and that shows up in how they interpret the respective approach. In another news, Mohamed Salah made Arsenal title prediction at start of Premier League season. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah made an Arsenal title prediction at the start of the Premier League season, with the Gunners now having been confirmed as champions. Arsenal has been confirmed as Premier League champions, and Mohamed Salah thought that might be possible even before a ball was kicked this season. I think you have a great team this season and also last season, so you have a really good chance. The Egyptian, speaking at the PFA Awards in August, just after the season started, said when he was quizzed by a Gunners fan on whether he felt they could get over the line after 3 second-placed finishes in a row. "You Arsenal are the favourite now because you have players that have been together for 5 years. I can't say I wish you luck, but hopefully we do it again." Liverpool, who celebrated winning the league 12 months ago, is still not mathematically confirmed as being inside the Champions League places heading into the final day of the campaign, though it is very close to getting over the line. Avoiding defeat against Brentford will definitely confirm a top 5 finish. Even losing might be enough, as Liverpool has a better goal difference than Bournemouth, the only team that can catch up. Salah has spoken out recently about the style of play that Arne Slot has implemented at Anfield, suggesting that it needs to be more heavy metal for the Reds to be successful. "I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions," Salah said in a statement. "It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Liverpool. Com says, Arsenal becoming league champions means that the Gunners have been the best team this season. Both the Reds and Manchester City had off years, though particularly Liverpool. Next season there might be a bit more of a challenge from the Anfield side, though it will need to have a perfect summer of transfers and training for that to happen. Thanks for watching LFC Echo Daily. Stay tuned for more breaking Liverpool news, and we'll see you in the next one.